Nitroglycerin. It is made up of four molecules: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. When it is given an impactful force, it breaks up into water, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen gas. The chain reaction is so fast that it spreads to other molecules faster than the speed of sound. See the video, see how explosive this is. This is Glonoinum, the homeopathic remedy.
क्योंकि कुछ भी करने का था सिंगम, जयकांत शिकरे का ईगो हर्ट नहीं करने का था.
Glonoinum. We all saw wonderful videos of Glonoinum, and we saw that it is one of the scariest and one of the most impact sensitive explosives known to mankind. When I say impactful, it means that even a little bit of impact and it can send it exploding faster than the speed of sound. When I remember Glonoinum personality in Indian variety, I just remember two sentences. I remember "मी बरोबर आहे," मैं सही हूं. Remember these words, I am only right. When I remember Glonoinum, I see this image. Did you see my video in which I was running away from the sunlight into the shade? Yes, anyone who is holding an umbrella protecting himself from Glonoinum, if the complaints arise from that, you can close your eyes and give him Glonoinum. See this video once again. Here you can see a person who is in the sunlight and wearing all the protective gear, wearing a goggle, wearing an umbrella. So again, any complaints arising from sunlight, you can always give Glonoinum. See this image here. You can see children sitting in front of a bonfire. Borik has wonderfully said in one line. He says, children get sick who sit in front of a fire. See this image. Always remember Glonoinum. Phatak is one of the best books for reading the mind of Glonoinum. He says in one single word, he says, old scars break out again. The spelling of scar is S-C-A-R. You add E to it, it becomes scare. What does it mean? To have a permanent emotional effect on someone. Feeling of fear and sadness which remains with you for a long time after an unpleasant experience. So something which was not going according to your wishes, something which you did not like, that again you're remembering, and that is not just troubling you, it is scaring you. An unpleasant experience coming back in your life to scare you. So what is a scar? Scar is an unpleasant experiences. But if it comes back to harm you, it comes back to scare you, it is Glonoinum. So why do these scars actually exist? It is an effort to prove himself right all the time that leads to scars. So if you always try to prove yourself right, it is not necessary that everyone in the world will agree with you, correct? Everyone in the world does not have to agree with you because you are not always right. But Glonoinum thinks he is always right. हमेशा अपने आप को उचित सिद्ध करने की कोशिश, यही उसकी बीमारी का कारण. प्रत्येक वेळेस स्वतःलाच मी राईट आहे हे प्रूव्ह करण्याची जी प्रक्रिया असते ती ग्लोनोइनमला आजारी पडते. म्हणून नेहमी ग्लोनोइनम अशा लोकांसाठी खूप चांगलं ऍक्ट करतं जे म्हणतात की माझंच बरोबर आहे. Now you see these four rubrics. You combine them, Glonoinum comes very close to stramonium. Elements from offended being, delusion divine being, delusion great person is a pompous important. Now if you see lying down in the corner is the remedy platina. We all know that platina is always the remedy for a superiority complex. But how will you differentiate Glonoinum from platina? If you see, platina is not there in the first two rubrics. Ailments from offended being and delusion divine being. So here Glonoinum is there. So platina को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि उसको offended हुआ है. Platina को ये फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि वो divine है, लेकिन Glonoin को पड़ता है. Platina is only in the delusion, great person is and pompous important. So this is how you differentiate between platina and Glonoinum. Now if you combine these rubrics, ailments from offended being, ailments from position loss of, ailments from quarreling, again Ignatia comes with Glonoinum. Offended being, offended comes from the word offense. Offense means an attempt to attack. So if someone has attacked you, attack does not mean a personal attack. It means an attack on your self-esteem, an attack on your existence, as in your job, in your work, in your house, in your relations. So whenever you feel offended, you can take Glonoinum. Ailments from position loss of. Position means something which was there before. You have gone below that. Position can not only be in your job, it can be in your house. You are important in your house. and now you are not important. So that can also be a position loss of. Ailments of quarreling. Quarreling is jhagda. So whenever you combine these three rubrics, ignatia also comes with glonoidum. So you can always remember ignatia also when you're thinking of glonoidum. Now, the three best rubrics which will differentiate glonoidum from other remedies. You have dwells, offenses, come back to him, long time forgotten. लंबे समय से भूले हुए अपराध उसके पास वापस आ जाते हैं. Dwells past disagreeable occurrences on. अतीत की अप्रिय घटनाएं पर ध्यान केंद्रित करता है. And dwells recalls old grievances. पुरानी शिकायतें याद आती है. These three rubrics are very very close to each other. How do you differentiate them? Offense, obviously I told you in the previous slide, offense is something which is like an insult. So offense is something which is very deep. It harms your existence. Past disagreeable occurrence is disagreeable. If something occurs and I don't agree with it, it's okay. Always in life, you cannot live that everything occurs which is agreeable to you. But if that affects you, if that damages you, then it can lead into glonoinum state. What is grievances? Purani shikayat, old complaints. You always remember that whenever you have to complain, there is a grievance committee. So an old complaint, if you remember that again and again, that is glonoidum. So these three rubrics, if you combine, you can only see the rubric and the remedy glonoidum. Kent has wonderfully said it in one singular rubric. He says, delusion chin is too long. Now, people with a long chin, they tend to be very artistic and expressive. They are faithful, caring and expressive. If you go to them with a problem, they genuinely care about it and help you in time of need. Not surprisingly, these people tend to make friends very easily wherever they go. So this is glonoidum in the meaning delusion chin is too long. Now if you see singular rubric means glonoidum is the only remedy in the rubric. From T.F. Allen, complete repertory, you have thoughts persistent, persons who have offended him of. That means someone who has offended him is continuously thinking about them. Persistent is the important word. Not without interruption. Continuously, मतलब continuously वो वही सोच रहा है जिस आदमी ने उसको offend किया है उसके बारे में सोच रहा है. बिना रुकावट किए सोच रहा है. Dwells, offenses come back to him long forgotten. Synthesis, repertory, source, near. Again the same theme. Offenses come back to him long forgotten. जो चीज पहले हुई है वो वापस आ रही है उसको परेशान करने के लिए. जी गोष्ट मागे गेली आहे. जी गोष्ट पास्ट आहे ती परत परत होते त्याला त्रास द्यायला. Now if you see these two rubrics, thoughts, persistent person who offended him and hatred persons who offended him who had. So if you think that glonoinum actually is a person who thinks about the offenses, but does he hate the person who had offended him? No. He does not hate the people who had offended him. He only remembers them. Allen's encyclopedia puts the most important theme of glonoinum in these words. He says recalls old grievances. He was constantly thinking of persons who had offended him with determination to justify his own conduct. I have written justify his own conduct in red. It means, remember what I started with, मैं सही हूं, मी बराबर आहे. हमेशा all efforts, हर वो चीज, प्रत्येक गोष्ट वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक ही चीज करने को प्रेरित करता है. मैं सही हूं, मी बराबर आहे, I am right. And finally, Clark says the signature of this potent explosive may be bursting and expansion. The headache of this remedy is bursting and expansion. The great sensitiveness to least jar, which is a marked feature of glonoidum. Headache causes the patient to carry his head very carefully in order to avoid the chance of it. So I end glonoidum here. We will continue learning other remedies. I hope you loved this video and I hope you share your comments on glonoidum. We are always open for feedback. Do always write your feedback in the comments because I am always a student of homeopathy. Thank you. This is Dr. Avishkar signing off.